Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto, and welcome to this new video right here on Ethereum. And I said good morning, but it's very much not that much of a good morning for Ethereum. I'll talk about the current situation right now in the markets for Ethereum. Well, in the markets and how that's relevant for Ethereum and how that's affecting Ethereum, and then we'll talk about what to expect. I mean, ultimately, there's been some fundamental bearish developments that have gone on for the entirety of the last week already. You could argue that that has gone on since the 10th of October already as well, but Ethereum has been hit relatively hard. Now, the thing is that I thought over the course of the weekend and last week, I think Ethereum had a good chance to rally a little bit higher within the range. I never was bullish on Bitcoin, and I never said we were going to break out. But I expected some more bullish momentum. But I think since Monday, I think over the course of the weekend, because the general financial markets were closed, we did not know and we did not have a good idea of some of the underlying fundamental risks right now in the liquidity markets in the United States. And I think ultimately, without going in depth about that, I will make a little bit of a longer video on that a little bit later today, because it really needs, I really need quite a lot of time to explain all of that. But that is, I think, why the volatility index has opened and has opened higher and is rallying higher. This is unrest, right? So unrest is obviously bad for the markets. And that's also what you can see if you look at the Russell 2000. So that's very risky equities. And if you look at the S&P 500, the S&P 500 right now has also started to pull back. So when the S&P 500 is pulling back, when the Russell 2000 is pulling back, I mean, you can betcha that even riskier assets such as crypto are going to pull back lower. Now, yesterday morning for Ethereum specifically, we already saw some of that, right? I mean, yesterday morning, we had already broken down the value area low, and I told you, okay, I think it's most likely we will drop down into 3,600 and 3,500. And from there, I expect a bounce. Now, we're at that level right now, and I have to say that I have changed my mind slightly on expecting a bounce. And I'll tell you why. And it has to do with the higher time frames. I mean, on the higher time frames, we've just had a pretty significant bearish breakdown for Ethereum. And it's also not one of those breakdowns where I say, okay, I think this is a fake out. I think it's a fake deviation, a low time frame deviation with no underlying fundamentals, and I think we can reclaim back into the range, right? Which is also a possibility. Like, this is a scenario. This is a possibility for Ethereum. However, normally when I say that I think this is most likely, which I've said before, I mean, for Ethereum, every time we push down into 3,700, I said, okay, I think this is a false deviation. I think we'll reclaim back into that range. And so far, I've been correct with that. It is still a possibility to happen right now. But the two reasons why I'm not telling you that, and I think it's more likely, or at least I think it's safer to assume we're going to drop down lower, is the fact that it's high volume. This is the highest volume we've seen in weeks since the 10th of October, and it's the highest volume we've seen for a while before that as well. I think the last time we saw volume like this was August, when we were very strong. So in that sense, it's not a low volume deviation. And then outside of that, like I said, there are fundamentals underlying this move, which make me slightly bearish. So that's why I have to tell you that, okay, if those fundamentals change, if we see recovery in that, and that is something I'll keep you updated on, then we can still reclaim 36 and 3,700 and reclaim back into the range right here around 3,900 and 4,000. But as it stands right now, I have to say that I think it's more likely that this is a real breakdown, and that we will at least push down into the level between 3,200 and 3,100, where we have the 0.618 fib of the entire move down since July, since May, maybe even already. No, since July, and you have the yearly rolling VWAP. So those are my thoughts. I think that's it's a little conservative, and like I said, if I do see enough options to reclaim significant support, I'll let you know. But I think this is the most, this is the best thing to be prepared for now. And those are my thoughts. That's sort of thing you need to know. If you do have any questions, let me know down in the comments. But for now, thank you for watching. Take care and bye.